So I'm reading Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life, and Rule 6 is you got to get your house in perfect order before you can criticize the world. Stop criticizing the world. Get your house in order. That's Rule 6 from Jordan Peterson, his book 12 Rules for Life, an antidote to chaos. So I'm reading this chapter. I like it a lot. I think I could use this to help my students, to help people, to help myself. And it's an interesting chapter. It begins with Jordan Peterson talking about a famous Russian novelist named Leo Tolstoy. And Tolstoy was at the peak of all of his achievements, fame, money, privilege, and he was miserable. He was depressed. He came to the conclusion that life was a joke, that evil wins more than it loses, that losers, morons, and madmen get promoted to high places in life, which doesn't make any sense, that no matter what you achieve in life, it's all going to turn into ashes because you're going to die. And he was depressed, he was miserable, he was in a crisis, Jordan Peterson tells us. He was in a huge crisis. You know what I call this crisis? I call it, you're standing at the door of nihilism. Nihilism is when you reach a point in your life where there's no point to living. Life is meaningless. Life is just a joke. George Carlin was right. We're all sitting in the front row of the freak show. Doesn't make any sense. What's the point? So as Jordan Peterson observes, Tolstoy realized there's 5 responses that you can make. You have 5 choices when you're standing at the door of nihilism. You know, when you're ready to give up on life. I remember I felt like this when I was 16. Here's choice number 1. You can just regress. You can go back inside your mom's womb. You can become an ignorant little child and forget about it. Now, how's that sound? Choose the life of ignorance, you know? Swallow the blue pill, as they say in the Matrix. Choice 2. See if this is familiar to you. Choice 2. Pursue mindless pleasures and just seek oblivion through mindless pleasures. How does that sound? Sound good to you? Doesn't sound too good to me. Choice 3. Be a man, just grit your teeth and bear it. Life is miserable, but who cares? That would be the philosophy of the Stoics. A nice stoical embrace of life. How does that grab you? Huh? You want to be a stoic? Just grit your teeth. I'm just gritting my teeth, man. I don't care. That's a choice 4. That's choice 3. Choice 4. Just end your life. Just end it, man. End the misery. So none of those choices sound very good to me, frankly. Probably don't sound good to you either. There's a 5th choice, Jordan Peterson tells us. And here's choice number 5. Ready for this? All right, listen. Clean your room. I love it. Clean your room. So I'm reading this in Jordan Peterson's book, and I read that, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is me. Check this out, man. When I was 10 years old, I went outside. This would be about 1970. I went outside the front of my house. My dad, a military man, was changing the oil in our turquoise 1967 Chevrolet Newport. And I said, Dad, I'm not happy with my life. I'm bored. And my dad looked up at me as a military man with his loud voice. He goes, of course you're unhappy. Look at your room. It's a mess. It's a pigsty. Do you ever think being a professional slob was going to make you happy? Go clean your room. So I cleaned my room, and I felt a lot better. Oh my gosh, my whole life had turned around. I came outside and said to my dad, wow, that was huge. Clean my room, man. He goes, of course. Being a professional slob's not going to make you happy. Come on. So, you know, I'm reading Jordan Peterson, and of course he's using clean your room as a metaphor. I mean, there's a deeper meaning. There's a spiritual, moral meaning to clean your room. What Jordan Peterson says is cleaning your room means that you need to take stock of your life and stop doing the things in your life that you know are wrong. You know, we do a lot of things that we know are wrong in life. Some of us don't eat right. We know. We know it's bad to eat a bunch of cinnamon rolls and wash it down with a Coke. You know that's not a good life decision. Some of you, are whining all the time on social media about your kids. You need to get off social media and do something about your kids. Some of us drive too aggressively. That would be me. I need to stop. It's got to stop, especially when there are kids in the car. Some of us use language it's probably not appropriate with our children. It's got to stop. Some people need to brush their teeth. Some of you have bad breath. It's so bad, if you were close to an elephant, the elephant would collapse and die of anaphylactic shock. There's a lot of things in life you're doing that are wrong. You need to put a stop to it. And we all know what it is. We all have common sense, but we do it anyway. And we become our own worst enemy, and yet we're blaming the world for everything. And that brings me to the second thing that Jordan Peterson talks about. He says, don't scapegoat external factors for your misery. Most likely, your misery comes from you. Your self-sabotage, your self-destruction, it's all you. Scapegoats are convenient, and they stop us from taking stock of ourselves. The third thing, I'm adding this myself, I think Jordan Peterson would probably agree. He can call me, he can message me if he doesn't think this is correct. This is something. Don't expect to get all the answers in life in one shot, in one easy platter, handed to you on one easy platter. One of my students, I love this dude. He's from Taiwan, and his dad told him a story about this, about how you can't find the meaning of life in one giant swoop. And he wrote an essay about this. I'll never forget this essay. So this student, he came here from Taipei, and he told me this great story about how you can't find all the answers in life in one shot. This young man, about 19 years old, he goes to the beach and he looks up at the sky and he says, God, I don't know the meaning of life, and I can't live until I find the meaning of life. And God looks down at the beach and he says, son, look at these millions of rocks. I have for you the answer, the meaning to life at the bottom of one of these rocks. It's just taped to it. It's like a little fortune cookie thing. It's on the bottom of one of these rocks. Just lift the rocks and eventually you'll find it. And the young man says, thank you, God. I will do that right now. And so the young man starts on this venture to find the meaning of life underneath one of the rocks. And he spends the next 100 years doing this, to no avail. He's got this giant white Old Testament beard, and he's at the end of his life, and he looks up at the sky and he says, God, I did what you said. I looked under every rock. I found nothing. And God looks at him and says, you're an idiot. How could you believe something like that? You wasted your whole life. And the guy looks up and he says, God, I curse you. And he says, oh, you can curse me all you want. I'm alive. You're about to die. And that's a great story because you could waste your whole life looking for all the answers in one shot. You're not going to find them in one shot. What you got to do is you got to begin with a little bit of wisdom that will turn your life around so you're not so depressed, so you're not standing at the door of nihilism. And you can begin with cleaning your room, washing your car, brushing your teeth. Clean your room. It's great advice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. Until next time, I'm out.